So I'm going to read accurately and clearly on what's going on between Jared and his father-in-law, Trump, and how that looks. Are they really not getting along? I could believe it, just as much as I could believe that it's propaganda. But let's just take a look and see what's going on behind the curtain there between Jared Kushner and Donald Trump. Now, Jared is a Capricorn, so he will be, as far as I'm concerned, should be represented by a King of Pentacles. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is a Gemini, and I tend to delegate a King of Swords for him. So let's take a look, having said that, and see what the universe, what the ancestors want to share, and the Creator about this situation. Between Jared Kushner and Donald Trump. Have they fallen out? Okay, let's take a look. Well, we do get the Two of Wands, and sometimes that can be a sexual energy, but gee, I just don't think it is in this case. I do think it is a dynamic, though, and I do think we're talking about power plays between each other going on. That, I think, is probably more on target. And we get the World. Okay. And here we get the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. Yeah, you know, I think this, here we have, I really do think that this is Jared saying, making the choice. See, there's the globe, there's the world. What is that? Oh, there's a little cute VW. Looks like a pickup or van, at least. I'll have to get a closer look right there. But it looks like wanting to travel and wanting to expand and get on with one's life and have one's, like a sense of wholeness unto oneself. And yet over here we have nothing but pain and anguish and illness and heartbreak and rage. Also, not doing well physically or mentally. These are two very different energies, if you note. Just look at the colors. Look at the expression of the body language of the face here. The tree, the color. You know, really, there's a lot that is conveyed, and these are definitely two different people. And, of course, as I am reading on Jared and Donald Trump, I believe that this is Jared. He's younger, and he thinks he has more opportunity for a decent life ahead of him. And I think this is Trump feeling betrayed and let down, and, you know, playing the martyr that is betrayed. Really getting that there. Feeling sorry for himself. Page of Swords. Now, if you note in the Page of Swords, I'm going to... Oh, it's just way too dark. Okay, well... I got it. If you note in the Page of Swords, there's light bulbs for like balloons. And this card carries with it, in this case, intellectual study and awareness, mentally, getting new information, becoming informed. More for oneself, not just relying on what someone else tells you, or checking around, getting information from resources. And falling under this Two of Wands, for I believe this is the Jared side, but maybe not, maybe this could be, but I think this is Jared, and this is Trump having, the boo-hoo and woe is me's. Oh, look, I've already, oh well, it always happens with my cards. Knight of Cups. I think Jared's getting ideas that he wants to pursue on his own. He does not want to do Trump's work. He wants to do what he's interested in doing now. There's an offer. That he may have seen or is aware of. This offer falls into the world, which could be travel. It could be an international deal for sure, especially with that accent on the world. So I believe this could be a contract, even. It could be awaiting one, an offer, waiting to receive an offer on something. I think Trump has just burned too many bridges. Almost. This is the message that Trump needs to cocoon himself and just work on healing. And this is the young Jared. The young Jared as the Knight of Cups. And really kind of into now, because it's like early 30s, early to mid 30s. And if he were a bit more mature, he might go ahead and get the actual King of Pentacles here. But in this case, they're not wanting to use that card for him. Perhaps because on this side, I'm allowing this to be what Trump thinks of him. And he still sees him as being a young man. Well, whatever. As a young man, he basically said could turn water into wine. Ridiculous. And now there is this need to stay away from Jared and retreat back from him. And he is blaming Jared. It couldn't be possibly anything he did. But he's looking back at what I think maybe Jared may have made suggestions or whatever and thought, gee, he's got all the ideas. You know, Trump's just so simplistic, it's pathetic in his thinking, and it kind of looks like it falls along those lines. Now here's the Ace of Pentacles, and it's going to drop right down in this slot here, business-wise, and it's going to fall under Jared's collection of cards, under that Page of Swords. He's wanting to make get some sort of an offer and continue to do his own business. And with that Seven of Wands, though he is facing charges and investigations, he wants to be in a position, sorry, it is past one here. He is wanting to be in a position of leverage to deal with the efforts against him that he comes up against legally. Donald Trump has the Ace of Swords and the Empress. So the Ace of Swords means there is clarity. There is clarity with regard to the Empress. Something where Trump's concerned, perhaps to Melania or to wealth, or in his mind about probably cutting Jared out of those things. He's petty enough, that could be that. And with these two cards for clarity, well, actually I'd put him here. I feel like Jared just really wants to do his own business. He doesn't want to have to go through Trump. I think before Trump got into the presidency, I think there was more freedom for people like Kushner and that family to do their own thing. And I think once Trump became president, that kind of encompassed then all their businesses and how they did business. Okay. I feel like there's somebody that is offering Jared some kind of training or some sort of increase in his skill and increase in his money. He's being fed some sort of a deal that increases your lifestyle and your power, your status as a somebody. So I'm just looking at this Trump side. Yeah, Trump is going to have to find other people to help him figure things out. Because Jared is definitely bounced. And here's Ivanka. And connected to the Empress card, not Melania. No, not his actual, wife. But we get Ivanka with the Queen of Cups coming up, but on her dad's side. On her dad's side of this. And he's seeing her as part of the business. I don't really see that he identifies Jared as. No, absolutely not. Ivanka directs things. Temperance. And Two of Cups. She looks like she's trying to bring balance between the two of them. So that they're not, even if they aren't real, chatty with each other, that they move on. Definitely seeing that. No, sorry. I think Trump can't help himself when he gets an opportunity now to say something to the public. He gets that Ace of Wands, where he gets that rush, and he wants to say inflammatory, provocative stuff to the public. He really misses doing that. That is coming up here for some reason when it comes down to dealing with Jared. But his stubbornness, Trump's stubbornness, is going to be largely his own undoing, because he's not willing to be flexible, and he's not willing to change where he needs to change. He sets himself up basically to be more quickly, easily found blatantly guilty. And that Ten of Swords means his guilt and his gluttony and his selfishness end him. Definitely feel like there's some kind of an end coming that way for Trump. And I'm going to draw the last two. The Moon. Oh, and the Eight of Wands. Well, this will be the behind the scenes back and forths going on, how they want to, narrate this, damage control, so on and so forth. I think Trump brings so much drama into their lives, and just never mind all the criminality and that drama, but on top of it, just how he responds to things, period, is absurd, childish, very, very stuck back at a particular age. just wanting to see what I get more from that. Let me see if I can. To me, this is some kind of sabotage. A choice. 9 of Swords. This could be about involvement, Trump's choice to be involved with some people that I think are that sneaky bunch. Like they would blackmail, that kind of stuff. And there's that Queen of Wands. Okay. Looking at the money. Looking at where their personal finances are. Just their money in general, business-wise too. How that's handled. That's not going to be very enjoyable. So I think audited, subpoenaed, yeah. And I think it's because this family just used our tax money like their own funny money without much thought. You know, it's like, no, it's there for me to, I'm going to use it. It's like corporate welfare. They just felt like with the typical white privilege that they have, the way they look at it is that's something that you utilize, that you make use of. They don't have a healthy nor an adequate perspective on that. They think very much like their mother and father, that if it isn't, well, even if it was nailed down, it could be theirs. I just think they don't think much is off limits to them. Okay, I always say this. 2 more cards. Okay, 5 of Swords. Well, this deals with bully behavior. This deals with somebody that's a poor loser. And so even if they win the argument, they don't get the point. It can also be, like I said, that difference in energy, where one energy is more brusque, more pushy, more bossy, ordering someone else around, condescending too. And not cool. Queen of Swords. I feel like this is a woman who will be asking a lot of questions, or some questions that are pertinent to do with that Seven of Swords. I'm sorry, that Five of Swords. I just think they're wary of Trump's pushy personality and insistence to be treated like the emperor, and I think that's worn very thin now with Kushner. I do. I think his ego is just like, no. I'm sorry, Ivanka, you deal with it. There will be the tower, but I see also success. So, what is that about? Clarity. And there is a sense of loss. Something sudden that occurs. That could be, because it is, down the road. It could be some kind of sudden disruption, some kind of loss. The Devil. And the Six of Cups. Past, siblings, you have those that are free, have enthusiasm. There's at least one, though, that feels confined, a loss of freedom. It's like, well, what do you expect when you do a deal with the devil? Four of Cups, 10 of Cups. Okay, let's think about that. Somebody's really wanting to attain some kind of image, that makes them feel like their family looks good and is successful and appears that way. Let me see here. But they just don't have it. They're missing a key part, and that's empathy. That's kindness and unconditional love, where you give somebody something without any sense of reward for yourself. You give it because somebody needed it and you cared, and that includes, you're not giving it so that you can pat yourself on the back and say what a wonderful person you are. You do it because it's the right thing to do. You just be a decent human. Again, we're dealing with past behavior. I think becoming well known throughout the globe. I think there's a great deal of anxiety over this fighting, and I think the Trump family will devolve into more infighting. You have very dynamic personalities that want what they want. Ivanka wants what she wants, trust, and she will make sure she's going to get it for whatever degree she can hold it to, because these folks are going to be running short of money. Page of Wands, Hangman. Different perspective about it. An abandonment, leaving something behind. And protecting one's boundary. And the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. And having to face karmic and human justice. So I believe that there will be both, interestingly enough, types of justice that will serve to bring change or whatever one needs in their life. Yeah, and I do think that he is definitely done. I think he's like, Ivanka, don't even ask me anymore. So there you go. Sorry, I'm starting to get a bit tired finally, but I think I managed to get this video out just in time. So, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed my content, please do hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and do subscribe so you know when the next video or fun stuff comes out. Alright? Okay, thank you so much. And don't forget to share with like-minded folk. Thank you.